All right, what's up? Welcome to the Rigged Podcast, where everything is rigged, all sports. We're going to sit here and talk about sports and everything going on with our hobbies, hunting, fishing, whatever we're doing in today's life, but mainly about sports. Like I said, everything is rigged. Pretty much everything sports that we can talk about and sit here and discuss. Pretty much everything is rigged, but we're going to break it down for y'all. To start off, we do a little bit of intros about ourselves, which the podcast right here, the Rig Podcast, is with myself, Colin. We got Garrett Gibson, and we got Jack Spurlock. I'll go a little bit intro about myself. So I'm Colin Garrett. Grew up in the Woodlands in Montgomery area, Montgomery, Woodlands, Texas. Grew up playing sports, played football, baseball, basketball. Basically played baseball my whole life since I was 3 and started playing basketball when I was 5. Played football in junior high and high school, but then quickly retired that to focus on baseball and basketball. Stopped playing basketball between sophomore and junior year to focus on baseball. I knew my future was going to be in baseball. I met Garrett here in 6th grade when I moved from the Woodlands to Montgomery. We went to Montgomery High School together. Played baseball there, obviously. That's where I got recruited, playing some summer ball. Got recruited to play at Baylor University. Went to Baylor, played all 4 years for baseball there. My first year, tore my elbow and had Tommy John surgery, so I was out for 2 years. Enjoyed my time, loved Waco, loved Baylor, but I grew up a diehard Aggie, which we'll be talking a lot about A&M here, which Garrett's a big Aggie, Jack's a secret Aggie. Uh, Even though he's wearing the OU hat, but he loves his Aggies. So spent 4 years in Waco at Baylor. I was there for all 4 years for baseball, but I still have leftover eligibility. And obviously, growing up a diehard Aggie, I wanted to end up in A&M. So as soon as I was done with my 4 years there, which I was there from 2015 to 2019, once I graduated, applied and got into A&M for grad school. Tried out for baseball there for Coach Childress. Things didn't work out at the tryout for me there. But the next week, we had tryouts for club baseball, which tried out for that, made the team, and was basically a player coach for that. And then in the spring of 2020, tried out for football for A&M, made the team. And then a week after making the team, COVID hit. So COVID ruined all that. That was kind of like my sports career right there coming to an end. Even though I could have been playing on Sundays today, if I would have been able to stay on the team for A&M football and been an offensive lineman, I'd still be playing today in the NFL. But, it's all right. And so since sports were over for me, now here I am. Been working for D.R. Horton, building houses. So if you need a house, hit me up. I can build you a house. Been doing that for the past 4 or 5 years, and that's where I'm at today. So I'll hand it off to Garrett. Garrett, you can go ahead and give you a little introduction.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm Garrett Gibson from the Houston, Texas area. Grew up, always around Houston, Texas, around Montgomery High School. Went to high school. That's where I met Colin. Went to A&M. That's where I met Jack and Jack's brother. Always been boys ever since. Growing up in Houston, big Houston Texans fan, big Houston Rockets fan, and obviously big Astros fan, and then all things A&M. Graduated from A&M, live here locally in College Station, and can't get enough of it. Love the big three sports, and even a little bit of volleyball mixed in there, a little softball. Yeah, just love all things A&M. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. Kind of give a little bit of insight from the A&M fan perspective, from the Houston area sports perspective, and yeah, just looking forward to getting to know you guys.
Awesome. What's up, y'all? My name's Jack. I'm 22 years old, and I just recently graduated from OU in May with a major in marketing and major in supply chain. So hit me up if you have a job for me because I'm unemployed currently. I grew up in Plano, Texas with 2 siblings, my brother, which they both know, and my older sister. I'm the youngest of the 3 of us. I grew up in Aggie, loved Aggies, went to Aggie football games all the time with my dad and my brother. And I grew up bleeding maroon and white, and then I quickly switched to cream and red as my Sooners. I started to cheer for the Sooners. Yeah, I'm from Plano. Grew up a Dallas sports fan, of course. Like I cheer for the Cowboys occasionally, but it's hard to cheer for them because they suck. But yeah, Rangers on my team now. Mavs, we got Cooper Flag. So I'm excited for the future of Dallas sports, and we're going to be talking about sports now. And let's get this thing started, boys.
Yes, sir. So, a little breakdown of our topics we're going to be discussing today. First off, we'll kick off with college football. AP Top 25 came out yesterday. So, we'll discuss that, kind of talk about our Aggies and Sooners. They both landed in the top 25, break down some of our thoughts and hot takes we have for the college football season. Next, we'll go over MLB in the playoff push that's going on. We're past the All-Star break. We're getting close to October. So playoffs are upon us. So we'll kind of break down, which obviously we have our Rangers and Astros to talk about. So we'll break down a little bit about that. Next, we'll have NFL preseason, which we had our first weekend. I guess was it technically second weekend of games this past weekend. We got our Cowboys and Texans to talk about, as well as some other stuff. We're getting close to season starting there. We're a few weeks away. Next, we'll talk about UFC and the new deal, new broadcast deal that came out. So we'll break that down. There's a couple new things coming on with UFC. There's been a few news alerts in the past 2 days for UFC, so we'll break down that stuff. Lastly, we'll end off our podcast, which we'll do this every week. We're going to be doing our rigged games or picks of the week. So since we do think everything is rigged, each of us will pick our favorite rigged game that we think is absolutely going to be rigged for this week, and then next week we'll break it down to see how we did with our rigged game or rigged pick of the week. So to start us off, we'll do college football, AP Top 25. That came out yesterday. So what we think, guys? I mean, we got our Ags at 19. We got OU at 18.
18, yeah.
Jack's team edges by 1. The team the team that we all hate, which is the team that we do not like to talk about down there in Austin, Texas. TU ended up at number 1. As we all saw on sports media, Texas, or TU, sorry, is breaking news is the first team preseason number 1 to open as a dog in week 1. They are a plus 2.5 dog at Ohio State for week 1, which I don't know what that says about TU, but we're gonna find out week 1 how good they are. Hopefully, it's not very good.
I hope Ohio State whoops their butt down in the shoe. Be incredible.
I think they will. I think Ohio State, even though they did win championship last year, new quarterback, some new players. Obviously, they lost a lot of guys from the draft and whatnot. I think Ohio State will take care of business, and I don't think TU will be very good. I'll let Garrett kind of discuss a little bit about that, but I have a hot take to end this off later on.
No, I think both of those programs are blue bloods, whether we like it or not. They're great at reloading. I think there's going to be a lot of talent on the field. The fact that it is week 1, I think is, A&M found themselves in the same boat last year with playing Notre Dame. We didn't really get a tune-up game. It's, feet to the fire right from the beginning. I'm really excited to kind of see how it goes down. Definitely going to be rooting for Ohio State. And, I'm interested to see if Arch really is, about all the hype. So.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Same here.
I don't think Arch will be very good. As we kind of discussed in the past, I think Arch will be a bust. I think he's extremely overhyped, and hopefully I'm right. Usually I'd be the opposite. Usually I would
thought the same thing about Quinn Ewers. That turned out to be false. So
what? That he was going to be good or bad?
He was going to be bad. Turned out he was good. So
yeah, but
7th round pick.
Yeah, he was good for college. Most college QBs don't pan out in the NFL. So
I feel like a lot of TU fans didn't like Quinn Ewers though. So it's not like he was amazing. He still got them wins though when they needed it. But yeah, I think Quinn will not be very good. And my hot take for TU this season is they will have a losing season. But I also think my Ags are going to go undefeated this season, so it should be interesting.
Not biased at all.
Nope.
Oh, 100% biased.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're ranked at 19 because now there's not a whole lot of pressure to be extremely good like our Aggie baseball. It was preseason number 1 and ended up not being very good and missed the postseason. So hopefully TU football has a little bit of that preseason number 1 slump like our Aggie baseball team did. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. I guess we can talk about how many teams SEC got in the top 25. They got 10 in this time, more than any other conference, which is big time. But I mean, the media's gonna go crazy because the SEC isn't that good anymore. So we'll see what happens come week 1.
Yeah, but then also how many SEC teams made the playoff last year?
Like 4 or 5, 4, right?
Yeah, plenty.
Exactly.
More than a third of the field last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So preseason top 25. SEC shows themselves up. Like at the end of the season, we'll see what happens. But
Yep.
preseason rankings don't mean anything. I mean, preseason for every sport, TU is always in the top 10, no matter what it is. So, we'll see what happens. The games will make up and see what happens. I was listening to another sports page, and they're saying by Halloween we'll know a lot of answers about a lot of teams, including TU and South Carolina and Alabama. They all have their toughest games beginning of the season. Same thing with our Aggies. We play week 3 at Notre Dame. Garrett and I will be heading up to South Bend.
My dad will be at that game too. Y'all can go say hi to him.
Who will?
My dad will be there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Just because?
Well, they try to go to one away game a year, and that's their game this year. So
why don't you go?
Because I don't want to go. I'll be at the Michigan OU game week 2 in Norman. So
okay, well then we'll get with your dad and come week 3 and come hang out with us in South Bend.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out.
Especially since you're not working.
I could be working by then, though. We'll see.
Yeah, but it's a weekend. And guess what Garrett and I are also doing on our trip? We're going a day early on Thursday.
Y'all going to see an MLB game?
We're going to go to the Cubs game on Friday night or Friday afternoon. I think it's like a 1:00 game on that Friday.
That's lit.
Which is perfect timing because we can hang out in Chicago afterwards and then drive to South Bend.
There you go. It's fun.
So, what else we got for AP Top 25? Carolina sleeper team. That was your little hot take.
Yeah, I think Lenore Suggs is going to be a top 10 quarterback this year in the country. He might not win the Heisman race. Letier's going to be in New York, but not Sellers. So give me SC top 10 to end the year.
Oh, South Carolina, not North Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay,
North Carolina's going to be bad this year.
Well, I don't know. They got a coach that has a hot young girlfriend. So.
Yep.
That's what a third of his age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Should help the recruiting down there in North Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah, they haven't had any media talking about that or anything.
Nope.
So, let's see. What else do we have? Mature gambling. What was that, Jack?
Oh, breaking last night. Barstool Longhorns decided to look through Mateer's Venmo and found sports gambling on his Venmo handle. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen yet. It's early in the investigation, but let's hope he starts for us because we need it. Quarterback situation looks grim without him.
So if he gets in trouble, OU's preseason 19 ranking is not going to look good.
Yeah, we got a young quarterback named Michael Hawkins Jr. That's pretty good, but I think Mateer is a Heisman favorite, so let's hope we can keep him. Yep. All right.
And then there's also breaking news that y'all got a good player.
Oh yeah, Jake Kroll, top 25 player in the 2026 class. See if he pans out for the Sooners. Be big recruit coming to Norman next year.
Speaking of recruit, I think Garrett, we got breaking news today from Texags that we also got a recruit for Aggie football, right?
Yes, sir. We got a 4-star O-lineman. I believe he was out of Tyler. So, to win in the SEC, you got to be good in the trenches. You always got to reload. We're returning a really, senior O-line. I don't think we lost a starter this year, so should be, if you pair it with, our running back stable, an elite ground game that hopefully Colin Klein will be able to take advantage of. So exciting news, reloading in the trenches to win in the SEC. You got to be big, you got to be nasty, and it was exciting to hear that. I'm really looking forward to him. I do want to kind of move on. Let's talk about the MLB playoff push. From our take, me and Colin are excited about the Astros. Last night it was breaking news that I guess Correa and Bregman are coming back in Dyken Park, and Astros took care of business. It got dicey at the end. You had a big lead, let them kind of come back into it. The Red Sox stormed back in the eighth inning, but we were able to stave it off. And yeah, if the Astros could ever get healthy, I think we would be a team to watch out for in October. Bad news is, I think we got Josh Hader going to be on the IL now, so tough break after tough break in terms of injuries for the Astros, but we'll see. The AL West race is
Heating up.
firing up, right, Jack? How about your Rangers?
Rangers are looking improved. They had a big win. They are down 5-0 against the D-backs last night and stormed back and walked it off in the 10th. That was the largest comeback of the season so far for the Rangers. Big win. Let's hope we can sweep them. The D-backs don't have much luck in Globe Life Field, as you remember from 2023. So tough going for them. But yeah, I'm excited for the next couple months of the MLB season.
Yes, sir. I know the Mariners there in the AL West. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch. They made a couple deals at the trade deadline.
Big name.
Keeping up with fantasy, we know that Cal Raleigh's had a sleeper MVP season. It's him and Aaron Judge. Judge got hurt, so I don't know. Is Big Dumper on MVP alert this year? What do we think?
I think he is.
Yeah, he's got some catching up to do on some other guys, but I think he will.
He'll win the AL one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But
is PCA NL or AL guy?
Yeah, he's the Cubs, so that's NL.
Okay.
But he's fell off kind of since the trade deadline, since the All-Star break. He hasn't been his normal self. So PCA mania kind of tempering off. Breaking news yesterday, we had Shohei be kind of announced that he was in some sort of financial scandal, real estate wise, in Hawaii. I guess we'll find out more as that pops up. But the fact that this is his second kind of financial scandal, whether it's sports betting or now this in the last 2 years, we don't really know what it is, but can't be getting in trouble like that all the time. What's going on?
Yeah, but whatever happened to the first one? It just disappeared.
And nothing burger.
Unfortunately, Shohei Ohtani is basically one of the main faces of the MLB, and they can't afford to lose him. So it just kind of disappeared. He fired the one guy to cover it up, so I'm sure somebody's going to
translator.
Yeah. So now he's going to fire this agent or whatever it is, and it's just going to disappear when nothing's ever going to happen. So.
Yep.
But Mariners have won 14 in a row. They're catching up to the Astros, although the Astros still have a 1-game lead over the Mariners. Astros are playing against the Red Sox tonight for Game 2 of the first home stand of Correa and Bregman back in Houston. Which of course Bregman hit a 2-run bomb last night in his first game in Houston, possibly a little rigged for Christian Javier, his former teammate, to throw that down the middle for him to hit into the Crawford boxes. But it was nice seeing all the videos and highlights of Bregman going back to Houston. It was a heartwarming, good spirits from the fans, none of the boos. I guess they showed the little film and video for Bregman's welcome back. So that was good. And then Correa had a good game too, a couple RBIs in his first game back, so that was nice. But yeah, like Garrett said, unfortunately, Hader hit the 15-day IL today. He is seeking a second opinion on his shoulder. So it's a better thing of a shoulder rather than an elbow, although shoulders can mess you up pretty bad.
Like Bautista.
Like Bautista, which Bautista's out for the year, right?
Yep. Announced today he's out for the season.
Nice.
Yeah, tough.
Well, we'll see what happens there, but yeah, we'll see what happens as the season goes on. I mean, we'll be talking each week about the current race of the postseason and how we're getting close to the playoff push. But yeah, hopefully our Stros and our Rangers can kind of keep things together and make a strong push and beat out Big Dumper and the Mariners.
Last thing I want to touch on is kind of the Mets-Yankees collapse. I think it's since the start of July. I mean, they have been just abysmal. Kind of talking about the rigged angle, those are obviously a big market team. In both the AL and the NL. I'm curious to see if Aaron Boone's able to right the ship down there in New York for the Yankees. Mets seem to not be able to remember how to hit. A lot of people are calling for Eric Chavez's head,
Oof.
but at the end of the day, I think it's rigged. It's all about money. There's a good chance I think we see both the Mets and the Yankees in the playoffs, even though they both look completely lost right now. Um, yeah, I think that kind of leads us into our NFL preseason talk. Want to lightly touch on a few things. I know, Colin, did you have something you wanted to talk about Shadur?
Yeah, Shitter or Shadur Sanders, which however you want to say his name. Um, yeah, apparently he had a decent game in his little debut with the
Yep.
Browns. I think he was like 14 of 23, couple touchdowns. All sports media, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, Sports Center, everything on Instagram, all the posts were all talking, hyping up Shitter Sanders.
Yep.
A little ridiculous. I think it's a little overhyping for a preseason game. But obviously, the rigged media is going to rig it to try to make sure that Sanders is on the roster and hopefully playing with how much they're talking about him. We'll see how he does. This may or may not play a factor into my rigged game of the week, my pick, which we'll talk about later. We also had a pretty big field goal this weekend.
Yep. Cam Little,
Yeah.
the
Which,
oink doink
yeah,
legend.
which would have set the NFL record by, what was it, 4 yards, I think,
Probably, yeah.
I think it was 66 was the longest before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see what Cam Little does from here on out. It looked like he's gonna have a little bit of hype. And then speaking of football and some breaking news, what happened, Jack? What happened to CeeDee Lamb in the
He,
Cowboys preseason game?
he was celebrating on the sidelines when they were playing the Rams and got trucked by a referee. Thank God he didn't get injured, but it was pretty funny to watch. Of course, he's the best player the Cowboys have, so if he got hurt, we'd be toast. But
Best players y'all have? I thought Dak Prescott was the best player y'all have.
Yeah, what about Dakota Rain?
who?
Dakota
Oh,
Rain,
Dakota.
Prescott.
Dak's not bad. I mean, CD's our best weapon we have, though. Like, we don't have any running backs. We have Pickens now, but I guess we
What's
have
the
Mike.
latest? What's the latest on Micah Parsons? Is he going to be a
I have
Cowboy?
no idea. I think I saw today that they restructured Dak's contract to move some money around. So maybe a contract is coming soon for Micah, but
Did they give Dak more money?
I think they just restructured his deal to save money for the team so they can give money to Micah this year. But we'll see.
I think Mike is going to become a Texan.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I don't think Jerry will trade him.
Okay, but if you don't sign him, then he walks away.
Well, he still has a year though. Like we still have him for a year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but he may not play. He may not play this year.
That's true, but
He'll be fresh to be a Texan.
typical Jerry Jones though, he just lets it go, and we sign him like the day before the season starts. So
Yeah.
that's what we did with Dak and CD last year.
Yeah, it worked out for Dak, didn't it?
Yeah.
If Micah's out, how does that affect the Cowboys? Is that are they gonna make the playoffs still, or
If we do, we'll be eliminated round one. You know how it goes.
that's
see.
true?
Good,
Yeah.
good old 8-8. Although now 17 games, so what? 9. It's either gonna be 9-8 or 8-9.
Yeah, the Cowboys will not be good until Jerry Jones decides to either sell the team or gives it to his son, which means other things, but we won't get into that on the podcast today.
Did you just kill Jerry Jones?
No, I didn't. I would never kill Jerry Jones.
All right, that's good. That's on the record. Now, I do want to kind of transition over to the UFC broadcast deal that was announced earlier this week. Big deal. They're moving away from ESPN Plus in 2026, so starting in January. Don't want to get too far into the weeds, just kind of want to hit the highlights. Looks like they're going away from the pay-per-view model, which if you're a big UFC fan, like me and Colin are, Jack, we're working on him still. If I'm the guy that's buying all the pay-per-views, that's $80-$90 a month that I'm spending. If they do go through with this deal and eliminate the pay-per-views, I mean we're looking at $900 a year that the average UFC fan, if you're buying every single pay-per-view, is saving. So that's something to be excited about. There is a little bit of kind of mystique. They're moving to Paramount Plus. So curious. I know even with ESPN Plus, even with some of the boxing events that we've had on Netflix, A lot of these streaming platforms sometimes have a little bit of growing pain. Like, hey, I bought the pay per view and I can't watch it. Like, I'm sure there's still going to be some of that. I'm curious to see how Paramount Plus handles, that kind of capacity, all at the same time. Another tidbit of the UFC broadcast deal was Paramount, who I believe either owns or is owned by CBS. CBS national TV will be getting 4 numbered events, formerly pay per view events, each year. And part of that is, like Dana White announced a couple, I think earlier in the month, around July 4th next year, 250th birthday for the UFC on the White House lawn, live on CBS for free,
That'll be
potentially.
sick.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be just something that's going to be a spectacle.
Yeah, G and I are going to do everything we can to attend that, because that may have one of the best cards that we've seen in a long time.
I heard they're gonna put like bleachers on the street right in front of the lawn so people can watch from there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
going to have to
there's
figure out how to do it, because obviously you can't have that many people
Major
too close to the
security
White
reasons
House.
to have people there. Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
got to be some kind of, like you said, background check, or I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be nuts. Like, I'm sure Trump's going to be there. They're going to try and have a lot
Yeah.
of American fighters there. Uh, Probably not going to be a lot of foreign fighters. I'm just going to speculate. Like, wouldn't be great to have Americans losing to foreigners at the White House? But
on Independence Day, on a 250th birthday. Yeah.
yeah, so
well,
I
if they
mean,
do, then it's going to have to be rigged to have Americans versus some Englanders,
Yep.
um,
Oh, that'd be fun.
and then hopefully it's obviously rigged for the Americans to win. Which, if we can do that, the crowd will go absolutely insane.
Yep.
But obviously, you probably have to have a few American versus Americans,
yep.
which always makes it difficult. Dana White never likes to do that, because it's tough to root for us Americans to beat another American, because there's really no point in that. He likes to set them up where they are playing a foreigner. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, G and I, we're gonna have to try to do everything we can, to head up to DC for that. Maybe parlay it with a couple MLB games.
Go see National Stadium.
Yeah, which I've been to Nationals game, and
Really?
I've been to Camden Yards for an Orioles game, but
I want to see Camden Yards so bad.
Yeah, I think obviously Nationals is in DC, so that's right down the road.
Yeah.
And then the Orioles, I think, is like an hour away from there, so we could knock out 2 games in one weekend for July 4th weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But like Garrett was saying about UFC being on Paramount Plus, it's gonna be a little different than ESPN Plus, because ESPN Plus, all you get is sports stuff. Paramount Plus, you get movies and TV shows, like Yellowstone and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be a cool little, like a different platform. Obviously with not being on a sports show, dominant sports site. Now it's going to be on a site that people usually go to for movies and TV shows. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. But it's going to be interesting to see how the UFC handles the rest of this year with ESPN, if they crank up the price, or if they lower the price to try to make fans and viewers want them to keep it on ESPN. Which the deal's already done. But obviously, fans have a big say to kind of boycott stuff. So we'll see what Dana White says about the viewers as this year finishes up with UFC.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Next, I guess that kind of wraps up UFC, right, Garrett? Unless you have something else for UFC.
I did kind of want to touch on maybe a couple fighters that I'd like to see on. Well, a couple fighters I'd like to see on the White House card. I'm thinking big American names would be awesome if the Sugar Show made an appearance. Yeah, rolled through DC. I think he's one of the more exciting fighters. Also, shout out H-Town, Derek Lewis. I think that would be awesome. A lot of people are talking maybe Derek Lewis for the belt against Tom Aspinall, which is obviously a guy from England. Would be super crazy to see Derek Lewis knock out, basically England, USA chants are going to be nuts in front of Trump. I mean, scenes, just absolute scenes.
Which, G, you and I, we just went and watched Derek Lewis knock out. Who did he knock out?
It was just a Brazilian taxi cab driver. His name was
Okay.
Taliesin Teixeira. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
I
was
know him,
nuts.
but we did watch him in person up in Nashville, Tennessee. Watched him
Sick.
knock. We watched him knock him out in person, and then before he could even celebrate, he got a call from Trump. And was talking to Trump in the ring. So I'm pretty sure when this happens next year on July 4th, I think we'll see Derek Lewis fighting on that card. I would love to see John Jones come out of retirement.
Yeah,
He's already talked about going to fight there. But obviously, another huge name that would be great to see would be Conor McGregor
Conor McGregor.
because of his love with Trump. And then did they also say, didn't Cowboy say something about maybe coming out of retirement to fight? Or
Yeah, I want to say Cowboy Cerrone said that he was going to enter the testing pool again,
Yeah.
make sure that he's eligible. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't get my hopes up for John Jones or for Conor McGregor.
No, it's a reach, but that'd be a
Those
huge
guys,
fight.
I mean, they're just too unreliable. They've had fights canceled. They've obviously both had kind of their legal troubles. If you're
Yeah.
trying to make a spectacle, July 4th at the White House, and you're trying to, sell that fight, promote it, you don't want the main event, falling apart 2-3 weeks out. I wouldn't, I guess never say never, but I wouldn't expect those two to be associated. Now, definitely going to be in attendance probably,
Yeah.
but I don't know that they'll be, featured on the card. So
Yeah, we'll see, but it will be a badass card to see who goes on there. I guess next we can wrap things up with we can talk about our rigged games, rigged picks of the week. Like I said earlier, I was kind of foreshadowing with talking about Shitter Sanders. That is my rigged pick of the week. I know it's NFL preseason, but still the Browns and Sanders are going on the road in Philly, playing against the Eagles. The Browns, last I checked, they were a +3 dog on the road, but I'll take the Browns money line because I'm not scared. I like my pick. So my rigged game because of that. Like I'm picking Sanders because I think it's rigged for him to have another great game or another good game. It wasn't fantastic. It was just a good game that they hyped up. But I think he'll have another good game or now great game because it's going to be rigged for him to have to look even better, to get a spot on the roster and maybe even close to a starting spot. I don't think he's going to have a starting spot to start off with, obviously. But if everybody keeps hyping it up, we'll see what happens. If he doesn't play, because I think there's talks that he may not even play this weekend, which I think he will. But if he doesn't, then his backup Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going to be balling out because he's trying to get a spot ahead of Shitter Sanders. So I think the Browns have some stuff to play for, especially the quarterbacks. So that's what I'm going to pick for my rig pick of the week. I got Browns money line for this weekend. We'll see what happens. Garrett?
I'm going to pass the ball to Jack. I want to go last.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
My rig pick of the week is going to be the Shohei Ohtani's return to the Angels, they are in Anaheim. He pitches on Wednesday night, which is tomorrow night, and the Dodgers are now -190 tomorrow night. So obviously, MLB's poster child pitching against his old team. What could go wrong there? What could be rigged there? So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Hopefully, I bet he goes at least 5 and gets the win. Hopefully, I mean he hasn't been going 5, but they might push him tomorrow night just for that game. And hopefully we see a little Trout homer off him. That'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
Angels beat the Dodgers last night in the first game of the series.
All right. Well,
7-4.
Oh.
But I do like the pick with Shohei starting pitching.
Yeah.
Kind of like as we were talking about earlier, he may just go 4 innings, but yeah, I do like the pick.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
If you're wrong, then we'll talk about that next week. It'll be a good topic.
Yep.
But and hopefully I'm wrong about my pick because I don't want Sanders to do well. But that's because we think it's rigged. So now Garrett, what's your rigged pick that we hope is going to be wrong?
So I'm going to stick with what I know best. I'm going to stick with the UFC tonight or this weekend we got a really big card. Dricus Duplessis is the champ at 185, middleweight champ. He's taking on Khamzat Chimaev Saturday night. Last I checked, I think DDP was plus 180. He's defended his belt twice. He's won the belt, obviously. So his last three, maybe even four fights have all been 5-rounders. Khamzat has never gone 5 rounds. Talking about kind of the storyline of how it could be rigged. Khamzat from Russia. We're fighting in Chicago. Now DDP is from South Africa. Maybe we're a little more friendly with South Africa. But I think DDP he fits the mold of what the UFC wants in a champ. He's a lot easier to sell. He's a polarizing guy, gets people talking. I think he's super big for the division. At 185, he's a monster. This will be Khamzat's like third or fourth fight at 185. Hasn't really got his feet wet. They're both undefeated in the UFC, so somebody's zero's got to go away. I'm betting on the champ. I'm betting on the experience and the fact that I get him at plus money. Like I said, I think it's rigged. I like DDP.
Yeah, I like it. I just looked it up. DDP is plus 200.
Oh, wow.
Khamzat is minus 250. So I do love the rigged pick of a plus money. Which, if we parlay all three of our picks, we probably have a nice little parlay. Which I will be betting that for this weekend. So we'll follow up next week to see how my.
We should parlay it and then come back next week and see how he did.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Might as well parlay it because if they're rigged, they're gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that should be a no doubter 3-teamer for some good money. So because I'll be plus money, or Garrett's plus money. I'm plus money. Jack, I don't think you'll be plus money. You're gonna have a favored pick, but with Shohei pitching, it may not be as big of odds as what we think.
Yeah.
So, which actually, do they have the odds up yet for your game?
Yeah, it's minus 190.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Minus 190. So yeah, that's gonna be a nice little parlay put together. I'll bet that, and then I'll show the graphic next week with that to see how it looks.
Yeah.
You got something, Garrett?
Yeah, you could sprinkle in if it's a little too chalky. Jack, do you think the Dodgers can cover the 1.5? Bet them on the run line. Maybe.
I think they could cover it.
Yeah.
Unless Joey throws a little straight down the middle of the Trout a couple times for fun, and Trout goes yard a couple times.
Is Trout even playing?
He's been playing. He should be playing.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Well, he's usually hurt, so.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably bet both of those. So I'll probably do money. I may do money line of all of them, and then I guess it's hard to do spread. I guess you can technically do a spread on the UFC pick, but I'll probably do 2 parlays. I'll do a money line and do the spread for a little bit more money or something like that.
Sure.
So I think that kind of wraps up all of our topics we want to talk about today. We'll have another week of some breaking news and some sports happening, our rig picks, and then we'll be back next week for another episode. Thanks for y'all listening. This was a nice little intro video. Hope y'all get to know us a little bit, and hope y'all enjoyed listening, and hope y'all come back next week. If y'all like what we have, like what we're talking about, if y'all want us to talk about other things, go ahead and comment. Whatever you want us to talk about, we'll talk about anything. In the future, we're going to be talking about sports, hunting, fishing, hobbies, what we got going on, all that kind of stuff. Also, if you don't mind, hitting up that like button and share button, and also subscribe
and follow
all of our socials.
Jack will be linked in the description.
Yep, Jack will post all that. Have that for us.
Yep.
And any other closing comments from y'all?
I don't have any closing comments unless Garrett does.
Nah, man, all good, all clear.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks y'all for listening. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
All right.